The 1972 United States 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, holds a special place in American numismatic history. This coin was struck at a time when the United States was still using the classic copper composition for pennies, just a few years before the transition to a copper-plated zinc planchet in the 1980s. The 1972 penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark. The obverse side of this coin features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. This design had already been in use for over 60 years by the time the 1972 coin was minted, and it remained unchanged until the Lincoln bicentennial designs in 2009. On the reverse side, the coin displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the reverse under magnification, you can even see the tiny image of the Lincoln statue between the pillars of the memorial. A subtle but fascinating detail for collectors. In terms of composition, the 1972 Lincoln Cent is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 19 millimeters. The edges are smooth, without reading. This heavy copper content gives these older pennies a distinctive feel and tone compared to modern pennies, which are primarily zinc and much lighter in weight. In fine condition, the coin will still have visible details of Lincoln's hair and face, though some high points may show wear, and the reverse will retain most of its structural details even if the finer lines are slightly worn. One of the most notable aspects of the 1972 penny's history is the famous 1972 double die obverse error. This variety shows strong doubling in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as in the date itself. These double die coins are highly sought after by collectors and can be worth hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars depending on condition. While the standard fine condition 1972 penny without errors is quite common and generally worth only a few cents over face value due to its copper content, the double die variety dramatically changes the coin's value. Even in circulated fine condition, the double die 1972 penny can sell for well over $100 to the right buyer. From a production standpoint, the mintage numbers for the 1972 penny were massive. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 2.9 billion coins, Denver struck more than 2.6 billion, and San Francisco added nearly 380 million proofs and business strikes combined. Because of these huge mintages, finding a regular 1972 penny in circulation today is not rare. However, finding one in fine condition that still has good color and minimal damage can still be satisfying for collectors, especially for those building date and mint mark sets. When it comes to the value of a 1972 penny in fine condition, a regular coin without errors will usually be valued at about 2 to 5 cents due to its copper content, since the melt value of copper has increased over the years. It's worth noting that melting US cents for their metal is illegal, but the intrinsic value does give them a little premium. Proof versions from San Francisco, especially if preserved well, can be worth a few dollars. The big money, however, is in those error coins. The 1972 double die obverse, even in fine circulated condition, can be worth between $100 and $200, while higher grade uncirculated examples can fetch much more. Collectors often recommend checking all 1972 pennies carefully under magnification, because there are actually several minor double die varieties for that year, though only the strongest one, known as FS 101, commands major value. In addition to doubling, coins may also have mint errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets, which can add to the interest and value. These errors are less common but are always worth examining. Historically, the 1972 penny is also a reflection of the era in which it was minted. The early 1970s were a time of significant change in the United States from the Vietnam War to major social and cultural shifts. Coins from this era, while not drastically different in design from earlier years, still carry the atmosphere and feel of the time period. Many people who grew up in the 1970s have memories of these copper pennies filling their pockets and piggy banks. For collectors, even a common date like 1972 can be rewarding because it serves as a reminder of the enduring nature of U.S. coinage. Design. The Lincoln cent is one of the longest-running coin designs in history, and owning coins from different years is like holding a small piece of history in your hand. While your fine-condition 1972 penny may not buy you more than a stick of gum today, its true value lies in its connection to American history, its potential as a copper-based collectible, and the thrill of the hunt for rare error varieties. So, if you happen to find a 1972 US 1-cent coin in your change, or tucked away in an old jar, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look at the date, check for any doubling in the inscriptions, and note the mint mark. Even if it's just a common Philadelphia strike in fine condition, it's still a solid example of classic American coinage. And who knows, it might just turn out to be one of those rare and valuable double-die treasures hiding in plain sight.